All right, let's have a look at the gold and silver miners, and we will conclude with gold and silver itself. So, starting with Agnico Eagle Mines, we are up 3.2% on the month. Zero sign of a real turn. Momentum remains on the extremely positive side. First Majestic Silver, arguably the second best silver miner out there, currently up 5.5% on the month. It's pretty good. The volume is already 17. What's that? Actually, 137 million. So we probably be, yeah, maybe 500 million by the end of the month. Polish. Anglo Gold Ashanti powering up was up almost 12% on the month. Incredible. RSI is 90, but hey, we could we could remain overbought for the entire year, just like last year. We were overbought from about what, March onwards. Just because something is overbought does not mean it's a sell. It just means that it's overbought on a technical basis, but you know, onwards. Barrick had earnings last week. They were fine. Stock is just consolidating down 1.4% on the month. Not an issue. Core mining powering upwards. Recent little multi-week bull flag here that's playing out. Big target is 34, 35. DRD gold powering upwards, reflective of the sector, 3.5%. I mean, look at that. Momentum's ticking a touch lower, but I wouldn't worry about that. Endeavor Silver up 3.9%. Again, it did pull back from the 15s to around 11, but it's already back on the rise, helped by the positive main market. Franco-Nevada, royalty miner down 1%. You could argue this is just consolidation. Bullish unless it goes under the 10 MA. Goldfields, almost 7% so far this month. Impressive. You got to wonder if gold is sustainably above 6K, this should be around 100, right? In theory. Little Heckler, up 1%, bullish. Harmony, down 4.5%. But again, you can see you got to see it as midterm bullish unless it goes under the 10 MA. Kinross, at 1.7% so far this month. I mean, it's just powering upwards. Newmont, arguably the best gold miner in the world, up 2.5%. Straight up. I mean, literally, you get one monthly decline there, and that's it. That's all you get, and then it just keeps on going. You got to wonder if gold is sustainably above 6,000, then this should be 200, right? Why would it not be? I mean, 134 was when gold was 5,500 ish. Yeah, it's going up. Pan American Silver, arguably the best silver miner in the world. Coming up 1%, a lot of chop, but broadly strong. Royal Gold, nobody cares about that. SSR Mining, price structure was a multi-month bull flag. It's playing up, playing out. It's already up almost 6%. Incredible. Wheaton, precious metals, up 3%, powering upwards. Again, if you're a mid to long-term bullish gold, silver, then why would you not think we're going to clear the 160s and onward to 200? I guess I should look at GDX, which is of course the parent to most of these stocks. Uh, Actually, yeah, it's the right one. So currently for the month we're up 3.5%. 97s. We're still actually a long way from the January high. We're actually what, 16? Yeah, we're 16%. 16% from the January high. But you got to turn bearish. I mean, look, you got to go bearish there at 72. That would have been great because you would have missed out on the move from 72 to 113. Momentum is showing. Look, momentum has never been this high ever. There's no sign of a turn. And even then, even if we do flatline, we could that's the price pressure. I mean, I can't take any kind of downside seriously unless we go into the 10 MA. And the juniors, again, they generally a little bit laggy relative to the big caps, which is unusual. But we only just recently cleared the 2011 high of 130. But anyway, bullish with the sector. Gold on a daily. So Friday had a positive, very positive day. You can note that gold is holding the 50-day. Just a moment. Yeah, gold is holding the 50-day. Um, Silver is not, or silver has a fractional break. I guess you could argue that, hey, look, gold did break briefly the 50-day and it spiked off on Monday. And it came to test it on Friday and then spiked up. So we're just under 5K. And I will note that there's a lot of resistance around 5,000, of course, as a massively key psychological level. And note that the Monday low, 4404, is basically a test of that high from October. So gold's holding together better than silver. And on a weekly chart, I mean, this candle's a real mess. Of course, last week's candle was as well. But it's not that bearish, is it? Really. I will note that the weekly momentum's on the high end. I mean, we could have a rollover, but you know, as would you dare short it? Skip that one. On a monthly chart, look, we're currently up by $77, 1.6%. How can you be bearish gold? Again, we could easily have a bit of consolidation sideways. That's always possible. But momentum has never been higher, ever. Incredible. Silver. Now, silver I'll highlight SLV. Yeah. I will note that there's last Friday's nuclear carnage. Monday did a fractional new low, did test the 50-day. Tuesday gapped higher, but look at the gap. In the scheme of things, after the carnage, these gap highs are relatively small. And we had a black candle on Tuesday. Now that didn't play out. On Wednesday, we had another black candle, and then that did play out on the Thursday, which took out the 50-day. Now, we didn't take out the 50-day during October or November, so this is a problem. But we did settle the week at 70.19, which is just above the 50-day of 69.49. So, I mean, really, the ultimate question here is, what the hell is all this? And we know that Mar uh, they changed some of the margin requirements here, and some people argue that was the excuse. But look, we were going to break at some point during this. We were going to break, and there's the break, and now we're you know trying to level out. On a daily chart, we are way low. We haven't been we haven't been this low in terms of momentum for like at least a year. And you can argue that this hyper spike in volume was just capitulation. And now look at Friday's volume. Friday was quiet. There's Thursday's volume, which was a little bit higher because of we were down like 16% on the day, but Friday was quiet in Silverland. Let's go to a daily. Actually, we'll go to commodity silver itself. Yeah, because you can't on a daily silver chart. Some of the candles aren't actually. They don't quite take into account certain aspects of the trading day. So that you don't see the black candles on the SLV on silver daily. And this does not look good, does it? I mean, it's a pretty good spike floor. And now the issue is, okay, went out. And of course, on this chart, you can't see the gap. If I go back to the silver on a daily, you see the gap. There's a gap there from the open, from the 9:30 open. But on the commodity chart, it doesn't show it. It looks like there's no gap, but there is. So we have gaps to fill. In fact, I'll even jump to a SLV on a 60-minute. Yeah, look at this. We had momentum turn positive on the Friday open. You think, what is this? What is this? Is this just another bear flag? I mean, look, we're on the higher end, right? You got to think. I mean, I got to think. I mean, look, there's two scenarios here. One, we gap up on Monday and we fill up all of this gap, and we just keep going to green gap. I'll have to drag that across. But the other scenario is we roll over with the main market and have some cooling across Monday, maybe into early Tuesday, and then off we go again. This green gap is going to have to be tagged. So $90 SLV, not silver, but $90 for SLV. We're going to have to go to that. That's $20 up. $20. We are going to have to tag this gap at some point. We got close. I mean, look at this. Look at this on day was that? Yeah, the Wednesday open, 82, black candle. I mean, I was posting sarcastic faces on X about this. It's like, yep, that's all you needed to know. Going down, chop around a bit. We had a ladder day recovery, and then smash. And even though we had a reversal candle, it's like, hey, not pretty, right? Because we took out the Monday low. That was a problem. Spooked me. I mean, I certainly didn't have the confidence to buy silver on Thursday. I mean, I could have made a little gain here, but I mean, thanks, but no. I was buying silver here and I immediately bailed on the Tuesday open. So it's like, okay, I'm not trading silver right now, but it's like, okay, if it goes up on Monday, I'm not chasing it. But if it does drop on Monday, I would be someone looking to buy, but I will be cautious in that, one, this gap needs to fill. And probably we're going to get to this gap, but it's gonna be tough to sustainably break above 90 again for a while. But we're going to get there, right? We're going to have to go up there, which is $20. There's a, there's a there's a couple of trades in here somewhere, right? You just gonna be. I'm just worried and being cautious about the fact that silver is very unstable, right? This this Friday drop was just the ultimate horror. Never seen anything like it. It's like historic drop. And then the Thursday drop was okay. It wasn't as bad, right? But still, that's a 16% drop there. It's terrible. I mean, if you're short, then it's the stuff of dreams. But for most don't do that. Most are just long. So my guess, if I had to guess, I think Monday will be inclined to cool back a little bit. But we do actually have a little tiny gap from early Friday, right? If I go to a 15-minute on silver, I haven't even looked at this myself, but yeah, there's a tiny little gap from Friday, which goes to what, 68? So if we cool back, yeah, if silver cools back 3%, we tag the gap. And then, in theory, the 65s should hold. And then basic target would be at least going up to 78, 79. Not on Monday. That doesn't look likely. But, a couple of days out, it's almost a case of trading the gaps. I mean, look at this. Gap up, gap down, uh, moderate gap up, and then you get a lot of churn. The money is, right now, the money is to be made in just trading the gaps. Like, because all of this is mostly a waste of time for most normal people. It's like, you want to be buying somewhere here and then you get a gap up, another one there. But of course, at the same time, it's like, oh my God, if you know, when I bought, here and sold that, and I didn't do anything here, and I sure wasn't long here when we dropped, and nor was I buying here. And now I'm thinking, okay, give me a cooling wave, give me a cooling wave on Monday, preferably to like 60, like 68, 67s, and I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer on the premise that we have a gap here to fill at 79, and we have a bigger gap to fill at 90. There's a couple of trades in here, and I like that. Moving on before I repeat myself. Let's just end with silver on a monthly chart. I mean, look, right now this is like a very indecisive candle. It's like you can see there were some buyers, but they sold it off. There were some sellers, but the buyers came in, and we were down. I mean, look, we're actually down 7.9% on the month so far. And we could just churn sideways for a few months, but if the main market goes up into March or even for a few months into like the summer with the SpaceX IPO, probably in June, then silvers could be inclined to go up again. And I'm seeing some interesting targets coming out again in the last day, and including today, this Saturday. There are people coming out saying, "Hey, we don't care about this drop from 121 to 63." They think that silver's got go way past 200, maybe 300. And there's a few people still out who think that four, even 500 is viable by the end of the year. I would accept the latter numbers as crazy talk, but the underlying issues of industrial demand, investment demand, and there is another issue that hardly anyone talks about because gold is now crazy expensive above 5,000. There is some societal cultural shifts. People are substituting buying gold and buying silver instead, especially in India, where they buy a lot of gold, but gold's just too expensive. Why spend more than $5,000 for an ounce of gold when you can buy an ounce of silver for maybe, you know, I mean, right now 77, but across this later this year, maybe you buy an ounce of gold for an ounce of silver for 100, 150, 200. Any normal person is going to be buying silver instead. It's not justified to be buying gold at this price anymore for jewelry and stuff like that. Um, I know some people wouldn't substitute, but many will. Many are substituting. Gotta wonder. Gotta wonder where this is going to be at the end of the year. I'm pretty damn sure we're going to take out 121. I mean, think, what's the worst case? Worst case is we come back down to the breakout threshold of 50. But yeah, if we if we settle the month positive, say somewhere, yeah, if we can settle February above, say, I mean anything much above 85, right? Turn this candle positive, get this candle above 85. So we got another $88, which is easily doable before the end of the month. I mean, 90 would be decisive. And of course, if we close up above 100, then that it's like, oh my God. Because there are people out there who think silver's going to be $300 this summer. So maybe no later than August, September. which I'd accept is crazy talk, but hey, we just printed 121. We've had a major couple of collapse waves to the low of 63s. We're back at 77. We have a pretty good chance of bouncing $20, right? Remember the SLV chart suggests that there's a gap to 90. You stick $20 on this, that gets you to 97. Call it 100. So I wouldn't be surprised to see silver pop to 100. Am I long right now? No, but I'm looking to be long. I should be long. I should be long again. But I'm trying to be careful because I am spooked. Again, when I look at this hourly chart, it's like, oh my God, this is. I managed, in retrospect, the more I look at this chart, I'm just thinking, somehow I managed to avoid this and I managed to avoid that. And I was long that little bit there. And of course, I was long some of this. But I've avoided the carnage. Oh, yeah, look at this. Look at these two black candles. One, that black candle marks V top, short term anyway. And this candle marks a short term top before this little collapse wave on Thursday. These reversal candles, I cannot, doesn't matter how many years I do this for. These black candles, when you see them, they should scare the hell out of you. They scare me. When I see them, if for instance, now, when I sold here, I didn't sell and I didn't get a black candle. And of course, I did sell. When I did sell, I saw a little cooling wave afterwards. And then, of course, we gapped up the next day. And I'm thinking, okay, if I'd held, I would have made a bit more. But when you see these are like, these are sell signals. They are to me anyway. Do they play out all the time? Not all the time, but often. And especially when you get a gap. And especially when you get one at a key threshold. Look at this. I said this. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I said this even before this. We have gap. We have gap there, gap there, gap that side, gap there, gap there. Like 5 of them. Even another little one. But you can see we have a magnet. We have a magnet gap to $90. That's $20 up. 20. That's almost basically 30%. 30%. This has got to have to be tagged at some point. Is it going to be next week? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it'll do it next week. Is it going to do it in OPEX week after the holiday break? Maybe. Is it going to be done by the end of February? I kind of think it will. I think it will be filled by the end of February. And that's $20 up. So I'm sitting here thinking on a weekend, on a Saturday, thinking, look, give me a drop, give me a little down wave on Monday. Give me a down wave and I'll buy it. Now, we'll say again, if I bought on a down wave and we gap up, say, on Tuesday or Wednesday, then I would be a seller. I'm not gonna be greedy because maybe we'll just gap down. But these lows are starting to look much more secure. But yeah, we're gonna have to go up here sooner or later. And there is a trade from 70 to 90, and I like that a lot. That is a very exciting thought to me. There is a there is some good money there. The only issue is when. Next week, holiday week, or maybe a little bit further out. I think it's just a matter of when, not if. So, gold miners are still broadly strong. There's a bit of chop out there, and that's okay. After a collapse wave, and this was the historic collapse wave, after a collapse wave, it takes a while for a stock or an ETF or a commodity to stabilize. It's perfectly normal, right? It's not like most things, some things go V-shaped, but many don't. And we can see we're battling it out right now, right? We had a rejection here, big drop. But you see the buyers are coming in here and here. And if there's a little gap there, I haven't even marked it on this chart. I should give it a give it a little mark. But and of course, this was up on Friday. Silver was up on Friday because the main market was up 2% or so. So yeah, I'm gonna hope that Monday we get some cooling. Even again, we're only talking maybe a couple of percent. Just give me a couple of percent down, and I would be a pretty comfortable buyer on the premise, and my basic target would then be get up to 79. And in theory, 90 would be a bigger target, but maybe we'll probably stair step up across a week, maybe a couple of weeks. Anyway, we know long term where this is going, right? We know where gold and silver are going long term. They're going up. It's just a matter of how fast and, of course, how much amount of time. Yeah, I'll leave it on this chart. I think this is a interesting chart for next week. This is going to get filled, and I want to be on this trade. Hopefully from sometime on Monday or Tuesday. I will say, look, if we gap up on Monday, and I'm not chasing it, I'll wait. I'll wait for another cooling wave because we're probably going to get one, right? And hell, if we do gap up on Monday, maybe we get a black candle and then we cool down all the way into Tuesday. So one day at a time, but I think the easy money right now, if such a thing can be said, 70 to 90. Yeah, I want that. I wish you a good weekend and back on another day, I guess. Be good.